All right, so hi everyone, and today we have Kavita Nylam, who is a performance marketing manager at Mosaic Wellness, and she is an ex Google um, as well. And today she's gonna be sharing her insights on some of the best practices for Google Ads and what you should be doing before or after you set up the right campaigns. So let's welcome Kavita here. Let's just say hi, Kavita, in the chat. Everybody, let's welcome her with a lot of energy. All right, welcome, Kavita, to Digital Scholar. Very happy to have you, and doing this for us.
Yeah, hi. Hi everyone. Very excited to be here. And I mean, it's very like this is, I think, second or third time I'm doing a session like this. Like I've done the session in Google, but this is very different because this is more from a Google point of view, right? What works, what doesn't work, and it's a learning, right? I feel it's always a learning. If any day you guys come and tell me, hey Kavita, this is what we think, I would not say it's wrong. Like it's always there's something new to learn, there's always new to explore, and I hope that whatever I share it adds value to you guys. And do reach out to me like on whenever, like if you guys want any help on LinkedIn, I am there. So yeah,
Awesome.
let me just figure out if
Thank
I
you.
can share my screen. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir, Kavita. We'll get there. So, Kavita, just wanted to understand about your experience at Google and what we're doing there. How was your experience? Where were you located? We would love to hear the story, and I'm sure a lot of them would want to know about it.
Sure. So basically, I was part of Google for 2 years from 2022 to 2024 as a digital marketing apprentice. So I joined Google as an apprentice through an apprenticeship program. And this was like a 2 years program where there was like we had a third party trainer which used to teach us digital marketing. And then we also had Google, like we were part of Google's teams, like we were almost around 100 of apprentices at my batch, and we all joined Google. So we were assigned certain teams where we were working as an intern there. So given it was a 2 year of time period, right, you start from scratch where basically my team was I was a account manager where I worked with large customer sales. So the team that I worked in was basically uh, like finance, like the finance sector of India.
Hmm.
So what we did was like we helped these brands, these bigger,
Hmm.
large brands,
Hmm.
grow their business online. And when I say online, basically Google platform and Google Ads platform specifically. So like we had a great, like huge portfolio. Among that, I was more working with mutual funds as a client. So I had because it was 2 years, at first year I was doing like helping them troubleshoot certain problems on Google Ads. But slowly, steadily, I became an account manager there for the last 1 year. And then like I got to help the customer with their branding campaign, or if there was a strategic problem, or if there was a scaling issue. So we would create these plans for them, right? So that was somewhat I did on Google. Then I moved to Mosaic because this was something a career change from my point of view, where I wanted to do more performance ads, right? Because the Google, it was more from a client servicing point of view, from a more account management point of view. But then when I came to Mosaic, it's purely performance based, right? So
Hmm.
when I say performance based, I am creating those ads, I am looking at my numbers, I'm looking at is there an incremental revenue to the business, right? So,
Hmm.
and there's a shift. And also, I wanted to personally work in a startup. Hence, I made this shift saying, ki, hey, let's do something different, right? Uh, so yeah, then I started went to Mosaic Wellness. So those of you who don't know what Mosaic Wellness is, basically they have three brands. One is Man Matters, Be Body Wise, and Little Joys. So
Hmm.
these are three major brands, and then we run Facebook ads, Meta ads, and Google ads also. So I primarily work on Google ads, where I make sure that like I build campaigns, then we track numbers, and then we check performance, and then we go back saying, "Ki, how do we scale? How do we get more customers, right?" So the major focus for our company is new acquisition. So
Hmm.
from that point of view, we look at, okay, how much more, uh, how do we increase the new acquisition number month on month or quarter on quarter, right? So
Hmm.
that's basically what I do right now. So yeah.
Lovely. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kavita. So, are you guys all excited to learn a few things from her? I'm sure, I hope you guys ask her relevant questions and take some value out of this session. Over to you, Kavita. I would make you a host. Would that be okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think I'll
whatever.
make you
I
the
just want
host.
to, yeah, I just
Yeah,
want to share my screen. Yeah,
yeah. So, I think over to you. I've just made you the host.
sure. Um, mm, just let me know if you can see my screen.
Absolutely. All good. Thank you.
Okay. Mm, okay, just 1 second. Yeah. So, so let's talk about the before going into Google Ads, right? Uh, what is Google Ads also, right? Fundamentally, it's basically your paid marketing, where you're always trying to get new customers or customers, right? You're just trying to capture customers. You're trying to build revenue to the company. So when you're trying to build revenue, the fundamental thing is where your customers are, right? And where your customers are and what journey your customer is going through, right? So when you look at that, that's where our game also changes. If the customer yesterday said, "Oh, I wanted A," we would provide them A. Today, customer says, "I want A plus B plus C." Then we are giving them A plus B plus C, right? If the customer says, suppose yesterday I was in Mumbai, so we have to go there and we have to provide the service in Mumbai. If the customer says, "Hey, I am going to Delhi," then we are supposed to we are bound to follow wherever the customer is. We are bound to follow wherever the customer goes. And that's where our marketing also depends, right? So, so majorly when we look at what used to work, what has changed, and what new do you want to do, right? That's where one fundamental thing you have to understand is where the customer is and what's the journey that the customer is going through, right? So I have used these terms, old gen, new gen, which basically means, oh, in olden times. And when I say olden time, it's not like 100 years back, it's literally just like 10 years or even 5 years back. And as I said, marketing is a very experimental field, right? Where it keeps changing every day. There's something new every day. There's some new feature coming in, and we have to be on top of it. So when I say old gen, it's basically 5, 10 years back the line. And when I say new gen, it's what is trending right now. It can keep changing, like literally even in 1 year things can change, and this can also be a old gen thing, right? But yeah, that's what I would try to set a benchmark before I start. So when I say customer journey, right, when I say where the customer is, right, uh so one thing we have to realize, that customer is king. Whatever customer says, we have to, because it's a business, we have to listen to them. And wherever he goes, we go, right? So earlier, what used to happen was, customer would be like, "Hey," if suppose a customer has a problem, like as a woman, I have hair fall problems. What do I do? So I would go on Google search, I would type hair fall solutions, and I would get certain articles, right? Or I see certain brands, I see L'Oreal, I see whatever, like minimalist or whatever else, right? And then I click on those ads and then I buy it. So I came, I saw, and I buy, right? But in modern marketing, has started happening is because a customer spends a lot of their time online. There is meta ads. I mean, there is Instagram, there is YouTube, there is email, there is websites, customers everywhere, right? So what happens is the funnel has changed, the behavior has changed. What customer does is that once you build an awareness, there still be a lot of consideration before doing that action. Like earlier, I mean, this also stays true today also, but a major shift has happened where to sell something to the customer, you have to make them aware about it, right? And once you make them aware, they'll still take some time, consider, and then they'll take an action. So this awareness to consideration, this cycle is like a loop. It's a huge loop. Sometimes it's very easy. Sometimes it's like a direct line where you introduce something to someone, they'll consider, and then they'll buy it. I'm trying to explain here is that suppose uh, you are someone who are thinking to buy an iPhone today, right? And you're just thinking, and then you saw some ads on Instagram. Okay? You saw, okay, there are certain features, but you didn't think much about it at that point in time. You scrolled ahead. You went on to a different website to search about something else, and then you saw another ad about iPhone, right? Where it's telling you about the discounts or where you can buy it. And then you start pondering about it. Okay, when do I buy it? Where do I buy it? You go on Google search, you do what is the actual price on like Amazon or Flipkart, and then you see the price, you check the price. You haven't made the purchase yet, right? And then you plan, okay, let me go offline and then buy this product. Maybe I want to touch it, feel it, and then I'll buy it. So the action happens, but there is a lot of touch points that a customer goes through. And because there's a lot of touch points, we also have to make sure that we are there in all of these touch points. And if someone comes in, like for example, like you are one of the tour guides and you are taking your customer from A, B to C, right? And you took them, you started from A, you went till B, and then suddenly you were not at C. So a different tour guide would come in and then they would take that person and end up having that action, right? Have that conversion. So that's why it's very important to be throughout the funnel, throughout the touch points. Make sure that wherever your customer is searching for, wherever there is an intent, you have to be there. So that's what is changing in your marketing media, right? So let's talk about let's go a little more about Google and Meta and see what what exactly is the change and what is the different myths that happen, right? So I don't know how much you guys have learned about Meta and Google, but one thing that I have heard, and this is an across notion, right? Where someone says ki, okay, I would, and when I say Meta, I mean Instagram and Facebook ads. And you have also WhatsApp ads. Sometimes some brands do WhatsApp, some brands don't do WhatsApp. But this is basically meta ads, and your Google includes your search ads, your YouTube ads, your display, email marketing. So these are some of the inventory that is covered by Google. So a lot of brands they come and say, "Hey, I want to do Google, but Google is expensive." Then some other brand will come and say, "Hey, I want to do meta ads, but it doesn't give me a good cost per conversion, right? It basically cost per conversion is how much cost you pay to get a conversion, right? So someone would say, ki, hey, Google doesn't give me great cost per conversion. So there is a mix, and there is a myth that one is better than another. And there is a lot of like there is a notion where people say one has to do one or the other, or one is better than the other, right? But what actually is that both of them go hand in hand, right? And when I say hand in hand, what Meta does basically is that it creates awareness. It builds an awareness to the customer. Like, for example, just imagine that you're sitting at home right now, you have your phone in your hand, and you're just scrolling on Instagram, right? And you see a pretty dress on Instagram, and you like it, you see it, and then you again scroll it. Or maybe if you get more interested, you click on the ad and then you see the website, and then you acknowledge that there's something like this, but you haven't bought it yet. Okay? Then another day tomorrow, again you are on YouTube, you're watching something, and again you see this ad before any video, you see an ad, right? You see this ad, and then you go like, oh, I've seen this before. And then you start considering about it. There's a consideration phase built up. And then you got an email through email marketing or Gmail, ki, hey, we have a discount. So when you started liking the product, you saw, hey, there's a discount. Then when you have that good intent, when that intent is strongly built, you'll go to Google search and then you type about the brand ki, hey, Mintra dress, right? And then you click on it and you buy it. So that's where the conversion happens. Now, ideally, what people would think, ki, hey, I spent so much money on Meta, but the conversion didn't come on Meta. So, how these platforms look at it like is that Meta will calculate the conversion that they have bought, Google will calculate the conversions that they have bought. Now, because there was a direct brand search, which was Mintra dress, your Mintra ads came up and then you bought it. So Google took that conversion. But the awareness was already built on Meta, that there was a lot of efforts that you put through Meta to build that awareness. That's why you went, like, you didn't have a dream saying, ki, I should search for this Mintra dress, right? So you were built that awareness. So always remember both of them go hand in hand. Like, this is what I like. Again, I would say someone can come and tell me this is wrong, and they can be right too, right? So, and I'm not saying Meta doesn't give you conversion, it gives you conversion too, but it's a it's like a brother, younger brother, older brother relationship, where the older brother is giving you the awareness while the younger brother is giving you the conversion that you need. So it's always important to have both of them in the right mix and in the right strategical way, so that you get the best result possible. So uh one of like so let's see what are the advantages of each platforms, right? So this is your Meta advantages, where Meta, even if you have 500 rupees, you can run Meta ads, right? You can just boost your post, or you can just run a basic ad and you will get 2 3 conversion for that day. And it's an instant result thing, right? You can get results in 2 to 3 days. You can just boost it for 1 day or 2 day, and it's easy. Like, you don't have to know a lot of numbers or know like how to handle a complicated uh like interface to run a Meta ads. It's basically easy. You can sometimes do it through your phone also, right? So it's quite easy. For Google, uh what happens is that even though Google takes a lot of time to learn. So ideally in Google, it's expected like you spend a certain amount of money, and then after one, like, I'm not saying this is like a factual number, it changes industry wise again. But after 1 month, you start getting good results. Like, you'll start getting results, but your cost might be still high. So Google has a 30 days period learning. That's why it takes a lot of time to learn and then optimize. But once it learns, then it starts giving you good results. So one is that after 1 month phase, your cost for acquisition also goes lower. Okay. And it, because the AI for Google learns the where the customer is, right? Is it on YouTube? Is it searching on Google? Or is he on display? So then they optimize this to give you the right audience at the lowest cost. And then, and if you think about it logically, right? someone who's searching for a hair fall solution has an intent to buy, and that's why they have come there to buy. If I'm searching for buy an iPhone today, or like phones in 15,000 near me, something like that, very basic, but they have an intent to buy, right? That's why if there is an intent, there are also a chance that they will stick to your brand, like they'll become loyal to your brand, and they'll end up buying with you multiple times, right? Like iPhone is a bigger example. Let's think about something very smaller. um, so I'll give you my example is basically Be Body Wise, the product which we sell. There are certain hair fall solution, serums, and then we have body wash, right? So once if I have seen a lot of ads on Meta, and I've seen like, hey, Be Body Wise is a brand, I know. I'll go and search Be Body Wise body wash. So my intent is high, and once I've bought it and I liked it, I'll go and buy it again, right? So the customer who comes from Google has a higher intent rate to buy and a better retention. And when I say retention, this basically means, does the customer do a repeat purchase with you, right? So uh, that is two. And the third one is minimum optimization. So once your campaigns are set, you can keep it on always on. Like your search campaigns can be on always on, your PMAX campaigns can be on always on. And when I say always on, it's basically you just give a budget, a daily budget, give a bit strategy to it, and you give a set of assets to it, and it will keep learning, optimizing, and give you customers and conversions every day. So, and it doesn't need like a lot of changes. There's some here and there, and then it keeps optimizing itself. So these are some of the good points about Google, right? Now, uh, what Google used to look like earlier, right? And what, like, this is what I have not even, like, because I am also new to this industry, I've only seen and working in Google for at least 3 years now. So this was something before 3 years, and this was something I read on books. I have also not worked on this, but this was something that happened when Google was 5 years, 10 years down the line, right? So it was simple. You had search campaigns, you have display campaigns. And when I say display campaign, these are basically display networks or websites which collaborate with Google to, and then they have these ads, websites ads. You get ads at the side or when you're reading an article, right? So those are display inventories. And then your video inventory is basically your video ads, right? And when I say video ads, these are majorly YouTube channel or any other YouTube, like video streaming platform that Google has partnered with. So earlier, what used to happen is that when you were running a Google ad, couple of things, couple of things you would end up thinking about is that, okay, what are the keywords that people are searching for, right? If it's an hair fall solution, I would end up taking keywords like hair fall, hair loss, hair growth, uh, right? Or if it is a hair serum, right? So one thing was collecting keywords. And then second thing was building a good SEO for your website. Like adding these keywords to your website. Ki, hey, like I have a, so companies used to do a lot of articles on hair fall. So remedies for hair fall, why hair fall occurs for post pregnancy, anything like that. So there were a lot of articles published by the companies to build these SEOs for the website. And they would try to go behind the ad rank. So there was a time when the cost per keyword was also something that could you could manually give in. Like manually you could type in cost per click, and there would be a Google auction happening behind. And then if your auction wins with the relevant keywords, it will show your ad. So this was basically and this is still true to an extent, but not to that much extent. Like you still have to pay some attention, but it's okay if you uh, don't put so much attention also, right? When I'm saying so much attention is basically it has become automated. All of this has become automated, right? Your other so search used to be the major chunk of Google ads, where you did generic search campaigns where you would try to capture anybody who's searching for a hair fall solution. My ad should come first, right? That was one of the key things that companies would go behind. Then you had image display, where companies had different images that they would share with Google, which is basically your statics, and there would be different placements that they would want to be at, right? And this thing used to be set up on display campaign. And then your video action campaign would be basically the videos that you share with Google, and these videos would be played before you watch some video in YouTube, that 5 second video which we always want to skip, right? These videos, and then there are like for video campaigns, there are basically your brand campaigns also. So there is an awareness building campaign. So this was the basic structure of what Google used to look like 5 years ago, right? Now, what Google looks like now. Okay, let's see what has changed in search. So, and remember the journey and the difference between what customer used to search earlier and what customer searches now. Earlier, the customer used to search, ki, hey, I have a hair fall, what do I do? Or I want to buy a phone at 15,000, what do I do? Now, because there is enough awareness up to the customer by these brands, where hey, if you have a hair fall, go with a L'Oreal shampoo. If you want to buy buy a phone, buy a Vivo phone or a Samsung phone, and then and your awareness is built to a point where you go on Google, and your right now your searches have become refined. Earlier, it would be like, hey, only hair fall solution. Now it's more like L'Oreal Paris shampoo. Like you have taken the decision, the customer has taken the decision what he wants to buy. He's only coming there to verify some things, maybe see if there is a good review about the product, or something or the other, right? So what has happened is, earlier, even for the search, if you go and just check how Google search looks like, right? Any keyword that you search, the first two listings that you get is an always an ad. It's always has to be an ad, or it can be a shopping ad. So what does that tell us is that doesn't matter how much ever SEO you build, there is always gonna be an ad that will come up. So if you are confident enough saying ki, hey, I've built a good SEO for my brand, and that should come first, because the customer has great intent about my brand. So if the customer is coming and searching L'Oreal Paris shampoo, because we are L'Oreal Paris shampoo, there will be enough keywords on our website. It should come first, right? But that's not the case. It comes first, but in your organic listing, then your organic listing starts at 3 and 4. But we all know how lazy a customer can get. Whatever first they have, they'll just click on it. Whatever search they have first, they want to click on it, right? So, and because it's an ad, suppose there is the L'Oreal ad, and then there is a different brand which has taken that listing, right? For example, let's say a famous shampoo, or I don't know if it's a famous shampoo, but a Wow shampoo, right? Or like a Clinic Plus. So it's a different brand, it's a different competitor, but because they were running ad, they were running a brand campaign, and they were bidding on terms on L'Oreal or shampoo, their ad came first, and then the customer clicked on it because they are lazy, and then they bought the product. So that's why what has changed is every brand right now always tries to have a brand campaign, right? And when I say brand campaign, this is basically, if I am B body wise, I would try to make sure if anybody is searching for B body wise, my ad should be first, because that's like a real estate. That's literally like, if someone, matlab, I don't know how much of you guys understand Hindi, but there's this muhavra which says ki, um, I forgot the muhavra, but it's like कि मतलब मुंह बोले खाने को नकार देना. So it's like someone is trying to buy a product, but you are saying no to them, right? It's literally like that. So this is a very important campaign where you just give your keywords of your brand, and you give enough uh, budget to these campaign, and you keep this campaign always on, so that you are not losing on people who already are aware of your brand. And as much as efforts you have taken to build that awareness, they're coming and clicking on your ad and then buying. That conversion is happening, that funnel is completing for that customer. Then comes your PMAX campaign, right? And this is also somewhat around 3 years old campaign type, which was uh, introduced by Google, which basically means Performance Max campaign. Now, what this campaign is basically, and you guys know right now how much there is AI and automation. So every brand and every company, people don't have enough time, or they don't have enough resources to sit and give, okay, what is the relevant keyword today? What statics should I give? What videos should I give? What video is best for someone who has seen my ad? Where the customer is and what is the right text that I have to show him, right? It's impossible, almost impossible for one person to do this, right? And that's why and Meta, everybody has these automative campaigns where, so PMAX, what it does, it's like it's a collaboration of everything. Like it does the functions of a search ad, it does the functions of a video ad, it will also do a function of a display ad, right? And what I mean is the inventory it covers is all inventory. It will go behind your YouTube inventory. It will go behind your search, your display inventory. It will go behind your search inventory. So PMAX, all you have to do is give all the assets that you want, like basically your text assets, your images, your videos, and all set of videos, right? Like you can give the short, like you guys might know YouTube short is also an inventory, right? So you have to give that dimension when you are showing a ad which is on, someone is watching on a desktop or a TV, that type of ad you have to give, right? So all of this is given on PMAX. And even when you search something, you see a shopping listing, right? There are products which you see, those are called as shopping listings. And when you and that comes from your Google Merchant Center. So this inventory type is also covered by PMAX. So PMAX is basically like a black box. You just put everything and you give the budget, and then PMAX works on itself and then gives you the result. But the only drawback for it PMAX is that it doesn't tell you where they are showing the ad, when they are showing the ad, who they are showing the ad. You can give certain signals to them. You can share your customer list with them with the PMAX campaign. Ki, hey, this is what my customer looks like, or this is what they might search for. So it will do its automation and find that customer, but it will not tell you what they are doing, right? That's why it's there is a lot of control which Google takes in, but still it gives you a good results, right? Like imagine just taking half an hour, giving all of this data to the PMAX campaign, and over a couple of days, it will start giving you that results, right? It will give you 30 customer conversions, next day 40 conversions, or then it goes like you can keep scale. Then you just have to increase the budget, and automatically your campaign will also start expanding as much you give the budget to the campaign, right? So that's how automated things have become. And demand gen is a fairly new type of campaign type, which has actually been started a year or a 2 years back, basically, right? Where uh, you have your video inventory, basically your YouTube ads, whatever you want to show on YouTube. And then what you can also do in demand gen, which is different from all other campaign types, is that you can give a audience which is called as your lookalike audience, right? What I mean by lookalike is that suppose you have 100 customers, already bought customers, you share it with Google and you tell them this is how my customer looks like. So my customer can be a woman between the age of 18 to 25, and they live in a metro city. So this is the customer base that I've shared with them. What demand gen will do is it will try to get the customer related to that, right? So this is how different types of campaigns that we have. It's not that you cannot still run shopping ads or you cannot run video ads. You can, but these are the new automate or like campaigns which run on automation, which use machine learning to give you a better conversions, right? Uh, Next part is basically a marketing funnel. So, what does so if you are strategizing for your marketing campaign, right, or your brand campaign, what one thing that you have to always remember is that whatever strategy you're creating, it should always be somewhere in the funnel, right? So what does this funnel means is that when you're doing a marketing strategy, there are three things, the three phases that the customer goes through. That is, one is you're building an awareness, second is your consideration, then the decision basically is that action or conversion that happens, right? So in this funnel, these are different types of campaigns that you can ideally run and test and try. And this works basic. These are the type of campaigns which are specifically designed for that funnel type, right? So if you see any brand campaign or a video campaign or a CTV campaign, campaign is connected TV campaign, or YouTube may you might have video action campaign, video reach campaign, which comes, all of this also comes under demand gen. So these basically, video action campaign, video reach campaign used to be different types of campaign, but Google has summed it up to become make it a demand gen campaign right now. So you cannot run video campaigns now. You can only run, if you want to do only video, you can run demand gen campaigns. So these are your brand campaigns where you're building that awareness. So the way remember, I said that Meta does a lot of awareness. Even Google has its own platforms, its own campaign times to do awareness, right? So if suppose you don't want to do Meta at all, like you have some fight with Meta and you are like, no, I don't want to spend any amount on Meta. I only want to focus on Google. Maybe my customer is better on Google, so then even still you can still build that funnel for a customer, right? Where you're giving them the awareness. Then there is a consideration phase. So in consideration, the two types of campaign which works pretty well is your demand gen and PMAX campaign, right? And PMAX is basically your mid funnel and lower funnel. Your demand gen is your upper funnel and middle funnel. And search campaign or shopping campaign will always be your lower funnel, which is your decision where the customer actually clicks and buys, right? So when you are tracking the performance of any campaign, you have to make sure that your search campaign will always have a better conversion rate, a better conversion numbers than your brand campaign. Brand say you might not even get a lot of, like you will not see someone converting, but there is a brand awareness built, right? So that constitutes towards your search campaign. So, as an experiment, also, what you can do is that if you want to see the impact, like how much you're creating the awareness and then how much people are searching, right? You start your search campaign today, you wait for a week, you see the numbers. Suppose you're getting 50 customers per day, then what you can do is you start a brand campaign, right? You run that brand campaign for another month and then see, was there an increase on your search results, was there increase in your search conversions on your search campaign, right? So it's like, if you do this, if it goes from your search campaign, if the conversion grows from 50 to 100 or not even 100, if 50 to 70, you will understand, hey, there is a change, there's a shift, there's an impact, and that is created through your brand campaign. So this is basically how your funnel goes. So now this is like the last point that I wanted to share, was that uh, now I have shared, okay, you should do search, you should do PMAX, you should do this, that, but this changes with the field that you go into, right? If you are in a finance company, what would happen is that, not let's not say finance, let's take an example of HUL brand, right? HUL company. Now, HUL has products like L'Oreal, Lifebuoy, Pepsodent, right? Now, as a customer, I will not go on Google and search for Lifebuoy shampoo and then buy a like not Lifebuoy shampoo, Lifebuoy soap. I will not do that. I will basically go to a supermarket and I'll buy my Lifebuoy. But how do I know about Lifebuoy? Right? How I know it through YouTube ads or Meta, not even Meta, but we did watch what Lifebuoy was on TV, right? But in today's day and age, you will see these on YouTube ads or your Hotstar or stuff like that, right? So so for HUL, it doesn't make sense to run a search brand campaign because it knows कि even if people search, it's still from a review point of view, information point of view. कि, hey, I want to know if there is any side effect to it or has a price change or do they have different variations like flavors, etc. So I am only the intent is only to know about the brand. So then you don't need to run a search brand campaign, right? And also, like if it's a service based company, right? So, for example, if it is an Uber, right? So now Uber cannot go and make a shopping ad, right? Because what will they create in that shopping ad? There is nothing like there is no fixed price, there is no product to share, so it changes like whatever field you are. If you are in a healthcare, there are certain rules and policies on Google or in Meta where you cannot talk about anxiety or you cannot talk about cancer. Like you cannot advertise on these terms, but your brand, your product is catering to those customers. So then you have to like understand which campaign time works for you, uh which strategy works for you and then run the campaign, right? So this may not even be true for a lot of industries, but can be true for some of them. That's why I say marketing is an experiment and we all keep doing this experiment and uh, it's like we are always learning. There's never, you don't stop, you always keep going on, right? So yeah, that's about it. Any questions? Happy to ask, like happy to answer. I'll just stop presenting. How do I change this reset to default? Pause becoming hostful. Oh, just one second. I don't know how to change this to not a host. Mm, enable. Mm. How do you change to making you the host again? No. System. Mm. Mm.
Yeah, hi, Kavita. Thank you. Okay, so I believe some people have questions. So Kamlesh has a question. We'll do a few questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So
Go ahead.
Kamlesh is having a question. He is planning to run ads for a skincare brand. The product he's trying to run ads is sunscreen. They've got an e-commerce store. So can you suggest what type of campaign he should be running? What kind of things he should follow so I can get better results with low budget? And your experience with running Google ads with low budget.
Sure. So, great to hear that you have a sunscreen brand. And given it's the season for sunscreen, right? What you can do is one thing is that, like if you have a Shopify listing, uh, best thing you can do is go with a shopping ad, because shopping ads, your products are listed. First, create a Google Merchant Center for yourself, right? List your products there, and make sure that your price, your website, your product images, and everything is set properly. Then you come back to your Google ads, you link this uh, Google Merchant Center to your Google ads, and then you run your shopping ads, right? You can do shopping and search, given that it's the summertime and sunscreen are mostly sold. You should use all of your keywords, sunscreen related keywords, right? What type? So these two are basically, because given that you already have a lot of customers right now who are searching for this. If you are a well-known brand, then you can run a search brand campaign. But if you think that, hey, people don't know about me, and if you're, so you have to build that funnel also, right? You have to build your YouTube or your awareness funnel, right? And then you can directly go to search also and see how that pans out for you. Like do a branding through either through Meta, like run some ads on Meta also, and then see if your search is getting picked up, or you can do PMAX campaign also. But I would not recommend, because if you have already run Google ads before, like if your campaign has enough learning, then you can start with the PMAX campaign also, where you give videos, you link your Google Merchant Center to your PMAX, you add statics, everything, and then you can run PMAX also, right? So these are some of the different types of campaigns you can run. What kind of things I should follow to get better results with low budget? Uh, so one thing, you'll have to understand that right now, given it is summer, the sunscreen industry, the search for per keyword is high, right? Right now, it's very high. So make sure that it's not just about if you're able to create good videos or create that good awareness, it's also about how relevant it is, or how good the product is, or how you are marketing the product. The packaging also matters, everything matters. Suppose that all is set, right? You have a good website, you have a good journey, you are able to be present everywhere, the shipping, every detail, like if it is out of stock, you're able to update it quickly. So make sure, try to optimize towards it every day. Like if you are getting, like if your campaign is bidding on something like a dot and key sunscreen, or Dr. Sheet sunscreen, right? The intent there is for someone to buy on these products. So you might get a lot of high CAC on these keywords, right? So what you can do is you can exclude these for your starting, like when you're starting off. But then if you feel ki, hey, if someone is searching for Dr. Sheet and still coming and buying for your product, that means your product has that value. So then you can keep adding also these competitive keywords. So try to refine your search themes as per that. Like go to the search themes tab, and then check how, like what are the different keywords that your campaign is bidding on. Try if See if it is on higher cost, try to negate them, And if it is something which is giving you good results, try to add it to your keywords. So that's how I would tell you to run. And if you're running a PMAX campaign, the moment an asset becomes in the low, try to refresh it with new assets. So that's how you keep optimizing. And you should optimize PMAX in 15 days, right? So, like if you have done a refresh 15 days ago, you can then do it again after 15 days. So that's how I would recommend, right? Um, and your experience with running Google Ads with low budget. I don't understand that question, but I think I answered most of it. For a service startup, um, should I unmute you again? I'm not sure. Um, I'll just take up these questions one by one, right? For a service startup with no huge budget like conglomerates such as HUL, what places do you suggest they should first focus on? So depends upon the startup also, right? What I would suggest, like what service this is, right? As I mentioned, if you are an Uber, it's impossible for you to do a shopping ad, but you can do a branding. If it is a new, so if you are a new company, I would say start building your awareness through Meta, right? Once you have, once you understand that, okay, there is enough people who are searching about you, there is enough awareness. I would suggest go on Google afterwards. Once you feel that, hey, there is enough, like people have started searching about your brands, right? And you can do this easily just pick up your brand name, put it on keyword planner, check what is the search term. That's how you'll know. Once that search comes, then you can start your Google ads. But Google ads is expensive to start off when you don't have a huge budget. I would recommend an affiliate marketing, right? Or maybe something like an influencer marketing where you're boosting, you're talking, creating an awareness. So that's one way to look at it. Is this compulsory to create Google Merchant Center for every business? No. To It's not important to create Google Merchant Center. Google Merchant Center is for a basically for FMCG. And when I say FMCG, it's basically your shampoos or products where you can list. It's basically like a shopping. Imagine it to be like a shop, and whatever, if a product can be kept on a shelf, it can also be shown on a shopping, on a merchant center, right? So if it is a shampoo or if it is a toothbrush, if you can create a unique code for every product, then it can obviously go there. But something like a dress, right? It's very difficult. Like people, there are still companies which create different code for these dresses. If they have limited dresses, they can still create that merchant center also, and that becomes an advanced level of merchant center. But if it is like like if it is real estate, you cannot do merchant center for real estate, right? Or if you are selling a car, you cannot do what you can't do for cars also, again, because it's a high value product, right? You will not go on shopping and buy it. You'll only do an inquiry, right? You'll fill a form about it. So, uh, yeah, so it's not necessary. Hey, if Google takes 30 days to optimize our business, so in this phase, what is the considerable amount that we should spread on Google Ads? So, from the start, I would say, like, this is again very subjective, very subjective, and this is a trial tester thing that you have to try. You can start a campaign with a 5,000 budget for a search campaign or for a PMAX campaign, given it's an automation and it does a lot of automation. You can start with a 10,000 budget, and this is 10,000 one day, 5,000 one day. But you can even start it at 1,000 search campaign, and your PMAX can be at 5,000 one day, right? So you can start small. Whenever you're starting, start small. Make sure all your conversion events are set properly and you're able to get those conversion through your Google Ads. So once that is happening, and when I say 30 days, it is like after 30 days, and if you have to be very top of your campaign all of these 30 days, right? So so you can start it and then you see what is the traction. Are the people searching? Are the people buying? How do I optimize it? And then you have to give some time, and then like you can start with these little budgets. But one thing you can always back calculate is that whatever the product is, right? Suppose you're selling a shampoo for 100 rupees. That means, and if you want at least 10 conversions through Google, right? So what, and the margin, you have to set a margin. Like if there is 100 rupees product, what is the cost that I'm willing to give to acquire a new customer, right? So if it is like, okay, I am able to give 50 rupees, or for, because it's a new company, I am okay to give 100 rupees if the customer lifetime value, the LTV is higher. Aage jaake they are able to buy it again and again, so I'm okay to give 100 rupees for now. If they continue to buy my product every day for, sorry, every month for at least 1 year, so then it becomes 1,000 rupees, right? So that's how you have to understand, if it is like 100 rupees per customer, then if I want 10 customers, then I will keep my budget 10 customers per day, then it will be 1,000 for your shopping, for your shopping or search campaign. So that's how you can, one thing you can do is you can back calculate. Hey, I'm working as a social media manager in a textile store named Magilingate. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Designing studio, which is mainly focused on dyeable fabrics and fabric dyeing. Currently, there is an offer going. So, how do I promote it through Google Ads for making more engagement to website and customer footage to the store? The offer in the fabric dye for okay. Uh, website visits. Okay. Engage. How do I promote it to Google Ads for making more engagement to your website? What you can do, so when you're setting a campaign, right? uh, you have different bid strategy and you have different goals that you set up. One is your conversions, which is basically someone who purchases. But if you are not an offline brand, right? If you are not an online brand, you're an offline brand. Like just in this case, what you can do is you can create website visits, right? And you can create, so when your final URL, you are giving them your website URL, and then you are trying to and give, like you can run PMAX also, where your focus is maximize clicks, right? Or maximize, so your, when you are selecting the goal, try to select website visits. And when some, and make sure that the website has these uh, what do you say, uh, like you have mentioned these discounts on your website, right? So this is the back end of how you will look at the setup of it. What is the front end is that you can run search ad, but then it might get little expensive for you. But you can obviously try again. Uh, and what you can do is you can do YouTube shorts, right? You can do demand gen, and then you can only select YouTube shorts, or just give the you like the short inventory, because you're doing social media also, right? You might have creatives for social media. You can take them and run a demand gen campaign, create that awareness, and push it to website visits, right? And once the someone is on website, you can create a fill a form or get a direct call or get that lead, right? So that comes under lead generation. So try to get that lead. So you can do demand gen, you can try search ads, like you can try on like keywords like fabric drying, or like I'm not so much, I don't know exactly about the brand so much, but I'm just guessing you can use these, understand what would the customer search for, and then go back and then add these keywords in your search campaign and see for some days, see if it's not giving you the result, go with the demand gen, create that awareness, create a website funnel, and make sure that they are reaching out to you somehow, right? So yeah. Mm, I think those are it. If I have missed anything, let me know. Yeah, over to you. I've made you the host back.
All right, Kavita, thank you so much for sharing your insights. This was really good, and thank you for answering all the questions as well. So, yes, did all of you have a good time? People in the chat, let's convey our wishes to Kavita and let's give her some energy. So, yeah, let's just thank her in the chat quickly. Let me see some people. All right, lovely. So, I think I'm not able to, yeah, all right. Um, so perfect, Kavita. Thank you for doing this, and that's about it for everyone. And I'll see you guys around. Take care. Thank you, Kavita. Bye bye. I think you're muted now, so it's absolutely fine. Yeah. All right, we'll take it offline. Yeah. Cheers. Bye bye. Bye.